What's up, guys? I'm Laura from Reading in Bed, and this is Friday Reads. So, a couple of books I finished very recently. The Little Friend, I think I talked about this in my last Friday Reads, and I might do a separate video or blog post on this, but for now, let me just say that all of your opinions about The Little Friend are bad and wrong. Because most people don't like this book, and I really loved it. The only person whose opinion is good is Juan from Just One Reader, because he loves it too, and I'll link to his very thorough review of this book down below. I also picked up and finished Bad Blood. I was on hold for this for quite a while, and yes, it's extremely compelling, and I am now obsessed with Elizabeth Holmes and her very, fake deep voice and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, this is good if you can get your hands on it. As for what I'm reading currently, I'm reading Love Me Back by Merrit Tierce, and I saw this described on Goodreads as MFA erotica, so in other words, like sort of pretentious and literary smut. They're not wrong. It is the story of a young woman who's a waitress in a very high-end restaurant, like the kind of restaurant that I'll probably never set foot into, the kind of place where you're going to drop hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and, a waitress who works there can make hundreds or thousands of dollars a night just in tips alone. And it's about sort of the culture of like the staff in these restaurants and how it's it's all drugs and alcohol and sex and violence, and while the facade that they present is very all about efficiency and service, and almost like groveling servitude sometimes, like after everyone's gone, they're getting down and they're partying, and there's a lot of craziness and self-destruction and all sorts of stuff. A lot of the criticism on Goodreads is about that, about like the smuttiness, I guess you could say, like the amount of sex and everything else. And also people tend to criticize the fact that it's not very coherent. It's more like linked short stories or vignettes, and I believe it started from a short story called Suck It, which, like, it is a chapter in the book, and it is a really strong chapter. Neither of those things bother me, though, so I'm really, really enjoying this one. And if those things don't bother you either, I would recommend checking it out. And then I think just because I was reading that, I kind of got in the mood for some actual smut. So I was doing a little poking around on BookTube, and I found an event called Smutathon. I believe it's over, but I'll link to it down below. And, as people were discussing their TBRs and their recommendations, a book called Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas kept coming up. So I got it on my Kindle. And yeah, I'm almost done. It's pretty good. I mean, like, when I say smut, I mean romance, but like, the smuttier side of romance. Like, there's a lot of sex. It's pretty graphic. I've definitely read more graphic. It's funny, like, that people in this discussion are, oh my God, like, this book's so dirty. It is, but there's worse out there for sure. As far as the story goes, it has a lot of cliches. Our heroine is like a girl from the wrong side of the tracks who grew up in an abusive family, but she's also like the most beautiful and sexy girl in town, and she has a heart of gold, and she's perfect, and there's a lot of Mary Sue stuff going on, and she falls in love with the wrong guy. He is wrong because he is her ex-boyfriend's father, so there's an age gap, as well as sort of like many other reasons that she should not be with this guy. Of course, they get together. I've got like maybe 10% of the book left, so there's gonna, there'll be some big final confrontation, and then a final smutty scene, and then we'll be done. But for, a light smutty read, it's pretty good. So that's Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. And then on a completely different note and tone, I'm reading, I just started 2 nonfiction books, also on my Kindle. There was a one-day sale on a bunch of nonfiction books, I think last Sunday. So a lot of these nonfiction books were $1.99, and I picked up 2 of them. One is Diderot and the Art of Thinking Freely by Andrew Curran. So this is sort of a biography of Denis Diderot, the Enlightenment philosopher, writer, very well known for like his atheist views, which I think got him thrown in prison. And when I saw, like, the cover's very striking and the title seemed familiar, I was like, where have I heard about that? thought, oh, it must be from Steve Donahue. And yes, it was. He has talked about it on his channel. He's also written a very glowing review on Open Letters Monthly, so I'll link to that. So far, it's pretty good. Like, this is someone I know next to nothing about, but I was interested in the whole atheist aspect because I'm an atheist, but I am just really sort of repelled by the current I don't know, like these atheist bros that are out there. Like Sam Harris is one that comes to mind. I think they have a new book out called Four Horsemen or something. There's four of these guys. And there's just, like, it's not appealing to me. While I would probably agree with a lot of their ideas about atheism and stuff, they come off as, like, kind of, like, low-key sexist and racist and just, you know, not that I'm sure Denis Diderot is like the most woke person in the world, like being an 18th century white guy. Although I think he was an outspoken critic of slavery, but you know, I'm sure he's not either, but at least he's not going to say something stupid on Twitter tomorrow. Right. So anyway, I'm just like one chapter into that. And then the other one I picked up for $1.99 is called The Order of the Day by Éric Vuillard. This is a book that's translated from the French, and it won a major literary award in France. And I'm not sure if it's a fictionalized account of a real event or if it's more of a straight up history, you know, book account of this event. It seems to be about a meeting of a bunch of German industrialists right before the rise of Hitler and all that. And like these very influential and rich men are getting together and basically decide to throw their support behind Hitler, which may have been like a turning point. Like, I don't really know. I don't know enough about the history. And having read the first chapter, it's written in a very flowery style that doesn't read like nonfiction. It reads like fiction. So yeah, I'm kind of confused as to how to categorize this, but I'll have to get more into it. It's very short too. It's like 150 pages. So yeah, kind of weird. But yeah, that's what I'm reading. So some stuff on the smutty side and some stuff on the history side. Let me know what you're reading, and thanks for watching.